Hi guys, so I'm just making this quick video to talk about. So I have an actual Steam Link server. So well, it's just Steam running on Windows, and then I'm using the Steam Link app on another computer slash my iPad slash my phone slash my Apple TV slash another computer, and I can then record the actual screen on here and actually boot Steam Link with the Stream Deck or any other device and have it turn on with the Steam Link, and which is a computer over there that runs. And since it runs, I can basically have it shut down or turn off automatically. And what it is, it just has a simple 1050 Ti in there. If you had a computer that has a 2070 in there, that would be even better. That would be the bare minimum I would actually put in there, or even a 1070 at that. I'll put a 1070 in there, but since this machine I have it in doesn't have an actual doesn't have a regular power supply in there, it has an SFX Flex PSU in there, so it doesn't work with a normal power supply. And also you need a 24 to 18 pin adapter. I mean a 24 to 12 pin adapter that you hook to the power supply and hook it to the motherboard, and it would just work. If you had that and put it in here, make sure it's a small form factor, because it's running in a Dell Opus Electron right now, and you could put a bigger GPU in there. And I also recommend maybe a Quadro at that. Lower power, I mean lower heat production, and it can still play some games. And since I have 1050 Ti in here, because that's what I have spare, you can play games like low resolution games over remote play and then record it here. Or if you had a gaming PC you wanted to record with like high-end specs, you can just take capture card, hook it to one of the ports on your graphics card, and record that way. But since I wanted to have this and have the Dell Oplex in a different room when I should record, because I record here for some games and some other stuff, and I have in another room because I wanted to have a machine that isn't loud or produces more heat in the room I game in, so I wanted something remote. And so to do this, you just load up the computer you have it in. I have it right here, which is called SteamPie. The reason I call it SteamPie because I wanted to run Pi-hole on here, but that didn't work out, and so I can't go back and name it again. So it's just left as that. So you install Steam on here. I'll show you. So you install Steam, and then once you install Steam, you I'm not gonna show you how the setup. I'm gonna show you how to get Steam. So you just basically go to steampowered.com. I mean Steam Powered, and then you download Steam client, install it, log into your accounts, download your games if you don't have them already downloaded, and then you go to Steam Remote Play, and then you add your devices, like if it's a Steam Link device that's running on a Mac or other PC, and then you take the code and type the code into the Steam client. Make sure the computer that's running Steam has a monitor on there for just when adding the Steam client to there, or when you need to add more. Then after that, you can either run it headless. I recommend getting a dummy plug and running it that way, so you can get full resolution of the graphics card, and then you can push out more more. But if you just want to run it at 1080p, then plug in a 1080p monitor. It will be set to 1080p automatically, and then you just set what resolution it plays at on the Steam client. After you do that, you can then just hook up a controller to the things you want to run on, and just have access with remote desktop, so you can connect to the computer, so you can do updates, install new games, just do maintenance and stuff, and make sure everything's up to date. Give the computer some kind of wallpaper you like to see during remote desktop. I just left it as the main thing for that one. For this one, since I don't want it to use a lot of graphics power, I use a black one. And since it's just being used for something different. So after that, you just load up the Steam Link on that device, have your controller paired, and then you just you can't see. So you have the controller paired like this one. This is the Xbox One controller. Or you can use a PS4 controller, PS Sense controller, or a Steam controller, or any controller that has X input, like Xbox One or the 360 controller, which is even cheaper because you can get those at like $5 from actual stores, and you can get I'm talking about like from what's those things? Like thrift stores, because most people don't use Xbox 360 controllers anymore, and you wouldn't need a dongle for a 360 controller. For Series X controller, you can use USB or Bluetooth. Bluetooth would be more compatible if you want it to sit farther away, or just get super long USB cable. For this one, it's a micro B. No, for this one, it's USB-C. So you just hook up USB-C for Series X and Series S controllers, and then you can just play the game on a couch or in a chair, or sit back and relax. And make sure the machine, because for Steam Link, I'm going to show you how I have mine set up. 1 second. So you actually see. So for mine, how I have mine set up is going to the settings, going to streaming, and how I have it set up because at first I was having some actual lag issues, but I fixed that by basically setting the video to fast. It depends on your actual modem and router. I mean, it depends on your router. This router is because how it's set up, it's going from my modem to the router through long Ethernet cables to the switch to a computer, and then another switch. And then the switch is running on the same, because the switch basically switches between inputs on there, so it's going back and forth between the switch and the between the Steam game server and this mini. So if I wanted to split that up, I would take a Ethernet switch and run it and get a router that has 4 ports instead of just 2, and run one from the switch, and just have one WAN port, and then have the modem plugged into there, and then have one port go to the LAN and the other port go to a LAN, so 2 different switches. So it's not sharing the connection between the 2, or just have one on the direct input and the other one on direct input, and then a switch on something totally different. Because right now I'm having an 8-port switch, and it's running my NAS, this Mac Mini, and this Plex server, and also a Steam server and a NVR, and all of that's hooked up to one switch. and that's 4 ports out of 8. Then there's one going to the back hull of the router, and then there's one going to my print server, and one going to the switch in my room, which goes out to even more stuff. So it's kind of, I didn't run multiple cables. I should have ran 2 cables from here to back there, but I wasn't thinking about it. So I didn't have the necessary room. So for this setup, this is how I have it. I have it fast, stereo, disable microphone, input is enabled, and default buttons. And then for more, I have it set to unlimited, increased latency. It doesn't increase latency, but it allows me for unlimited bandwidth. I have frame rate set to 30 and resolution limit to 1080p. It can go up to 8K, but I have it set to 1080 since that's all this specific network can handle right now without the messing up. I have performance overlays disabled when it was set to icons. And then for more, I have it set to hardware decoding. So instead of making it so this computer isn't doing any hardware decoding, because it's not really suited for that, because I'm trying to run OBS and also this software, which the computer is already doing decoding itself, and for the M1 it can decode it can do 2 different decodings. It can do 2 different decodings at once. One would be for OBS, and also it can do decoding and encoding 2 at the same time. So it encodes the video from OBS and also decodes the actual the video input from OBS at the same exact time. And so because it's camera stuff, and so I had to disable hardware decoding on here, and it works perfectly fine. And I set to allow direct connection for my devices, which is set to my devices, all devices, automatic, and disabled. And I have it set to my devices. And then when I started, because before I was getting in the corner over here, if you see my mouse, I was getting over here low Wi-Fi signal. Me didn't have enough network bandwidth, and this was at 720p. I've tried it at 4K, and I was still getting the same exact issue, not enough bandwidth. The reason I wasn't getting enough bandwidth was because it was trying to do all devices, and it was also trying to do hardware decoding while trying to run OBS. And when setting it up how I have it now, it works perfectly fine through OBS, and it works perfectly fine, and there's no blockiness and or to my nosing of quality. And this is with a base canvas of OBS at the 1080p, screen size at 1440. Even though it's a 4K panel, I'm running it at 1440p because of I'm going to have a second panel, which this software is going to be running on, and just has a spare screen over there. And you can't see it. It was above there, but I didn't get enough light this way, so it was causing the actual camera to not pick up color properly. And I was using a phone camera, and I was using this as a PVR camera, but now this is a better setup. I'm using the phone as a actual PVR camera, IP camera, and I'm also using this as just a regular webcam now, because the IP camera it shoots 4K 120, which means it can pick up faces really well, and the NVR that's being used to actually recorded can decode for 4K just fine. So I was using that as that, and using this webcam as that, since it's better suited for what I was using it for. And I also had more USB ports available. So I hope that can help with if you are running into any issues using Steam Link. If you're running issues using Steam Link on certain hardware, try disabling some of those settings. Limit your frame rate. I would say 30 is kind of too low. I didn't try 60 because I didn't actually bother, because I don't really, because of this panel can only pick up 30 anyway on this computer when basically running it can't do 4K 60 because of I don't have the proper cable. This is like a 1.4 HDMI cable, which can only do 30 hertz, not 2.0. So 2.0 can do 4K 60. 2.1 can do 4K 120 or 8K 60. And so yeah, I hope that helped. I thought it would help at least. Thanks for watching. Bye.